Oh, well, this is a new video, but I will be covering something entirely new. Recognize these? That is a ballast from a traditional fluorescent bulb and exists as a set. Now, of course, I don't have a bulb. Well, actually, I do. But I don't have a starter. Oh, wait, I do. So, why don't we put it together? I'm just put it in a way where I can actually assemble it. There it is. Okay, just connect the starter to where it belongs. Okay, need to make sure. Can't eyeball it, Now that the starter is in, let's bring the bulb in. You gotta push these a bit. Push until these line up. Now what about for power? Well, we've got the tube. We've got the tube set it up, but how do we power it? There's a thing called extensions, right? So, is this too short? Nope. It's just long enough to cause some issues. Now, guys, specifically, I want you to focus here and watch as I turn it on. 3, 2, 1. Wow, that's so fun. Then let's turn it off. Then let's turn it on again. See? This is why I love fluorescent lamps. They're so beautiful. And of course, it does get a bit warm. Now, obviously, I'm going to violate some safety features and touch the ballast. As you can see, the ballast has definitely risen in temperature, and the starter stayed cool, weirdly. You know what? Should I even bother to open up the starter? Or would that be dangerous? Nah, that'd be dangerous. So, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna zoom in. I'm gonna zoom into that starter, which, by the way, I have no idea what brand it is. Now, of course, I do have its official starter. I just took it out and used my own. Obviously, I have its official starter. I just decided to take it out and use my own. Damn, believe. My gosh. So let me pause it. This is the closest I could get to it. Now, without further ado, let's plug it in. See? Snow, you saw that, right? Well, it's producing a ton of light, actually. And yes, it's getting quite warm. Now, let me just get its original starter. Be right back, by the way. Bam! That is a Delta. It is a fluorescent starter with a condenser, or for the modern folks, a capacitor. And it is a universal 46 watt, 40 65 watts. Let's see how much it blinks well. See? As you can see, it performed a lot better, actually. So, let's listen to the hum. Oh my, it's pretty silent. Yeah, it's too silent. We gotta wait a few 10 years before this thing can start to make noise. But watch that. Watch. You can. What happened to my auto shutter? Let me just my shutter. I'll post a separate video. Actually, I can't post a separate video. I will just send you a picture of what it looks like with your shutters very low down. Okay. Oh, if you look at the edges, you can see it's faintly blinking. Let's watch the turn on action one more time. Now, where's the old? Now, oh yeah, the bulb got quite warm. Now let's remove this. Oh my gosh, the ends of the tube gets hot. Usually I don't deal with old lighting technologies. I'm only doing this for a video. God, the tips get hot. I mean, granted, it is a preheat bulb, so you have to expect it to get warm some at least. By the way, compliments to the ballast for no reason. But these things, it's a 3.37 BEF rating. Last time I checked, older ballasts were typically around 1 or 1.5, which is very inefficient and ran hot. Let's put in my own starter. Actually, what's funny is these two are the same thing. They're both from Delta. They're both fluorescent, and they're both fluorescent, except this one, it doesn't actually have a condenser. There's no condenser inside, unfortunately. This one has a condenser inside, I can see it. But this one doesn't. See? But, of course, these things are universal. In fact, compare their sizes, it's the same thing. You can buy a ton of these actually. So, these are usually the first components to fail inside a fluorescent light bulb. But, I gotta tell you, these things, they're cheap. They're cheap. They're cheap. They're cheap. So, that. Am I seeing? Just barely. Yeah. Yippee-ki-yay. It's in. Now, watch as the aging starter completely fails to start. Well, it doesn't completely fail, but it just delays. Now the video is completely dark, but right now the microphone is literally directly connected. Well, I'm not really connected. Quite. Damn it! I have to make some adjustments. Should work, right? Okay. Now let's turn it on and listen. 3, 2, 1. Damn. Hear that? Now let me turn it off. Interesting, no? Now? Hello. Now, that's everything I have to do, or everything to tell you, but now let's explain the proper working basics. Now with the bulb starter are completely out, let's explain what the ballast does. Well, oh my gosh, there's a kid screaming. Not that the kid screaming has been completely dealt with, never mind, it hasn't. This is the ballast. This is for a T8 or a T12. It can also be for a CFL. But this, well, it's a technically universal ballast. Not technically universal, but for the main large lamps you see above offices, those are usually a T12. This is a T8, but still, it can drive them. This is made for an 18 watts, which is exactly the rating on this one. It can also work for a 26 watts. I wouldn't recommend you do this with a 36 watt. You're gonna have to use a completely different ballast. Typically the 36 watt ones are like very big. Now, as you can see, this is how you'd wire them. If it wants to, there it is. The S stands for starter, and that's how these fluorescent lights are working. Even has its own built-in compensation capacitor. See? Now Delta, that's a relatively famous corporation. As you get, the ballast is warm, by the way, which is completely expected. And then if we read here, the BF is a 3.37, which is fantastic. Its voltage is 230 volts, though it can also work with 220 because it's close enough. The cycles is 60 hertz, though you just call it frequency. As for wattage, works for 18, 20 watts. That's so. Now, next, the starter. This is what it looks like. Yep, fluorescent lights are gas discharge tubes. This one's also a gas discharge tube, and it's used for the starter. If you look closely, you're gonna see that there are... Come on, focus! Come on. Do I need more light? There. You can see the two, right? Normally, in normal operation, that little one shaped into... The focus! The little one shaped into a U would physically bend and touch that one, which will temporarily short out the ballast. Normal, by the way, that's completely expected. And then after it will, since there's no ionizing thing because it's already shorted, it would open it up. So we apply voltage, go like this. When it shorts, the voltage will collapse. Then it'll open up and it'll do this. All of that while the ballast is making high voltage pulses, which it will do is jump across the light. After that arc has been sustained, we don't need the starter anymore. We can actually take it out, but that's just an accident waiting to happen. And then the ballast does a second job. It regulates the current in the bulb because plasma exhibits negative resistance. Negative resistance? Well, the current increases with lower resistance. Wait, what? No. No, that's... No. As it heats up, I guess. I don't... Just search it up. I'll make a different video about it. So, after that, congrats. Got a lamp. What now? We're done. That's it. Or unless you want to see the last one. Okay. Oh, now we're getting interesting. Watch that. I've completely put it back, even though earlier I said it's too dangerous. It's fine. No, only if I could stop this phone from slipping. Oh my gosh. Ready? We are completely my gosh, I'm trying to film a video. But let's fire in the hole. Damn. I need to get a close-up of that. Let's try again. Yay! We've got light. Go, watch. Let's do it one more time. As you can see, physically bends. As you can see it unbending. Wow. That's why I love these fluorescent bulbs, because they're cool. And also that part's the most prone to breakage. Disconnecting because it's time to end the video. Actually, let me just look on it on my... Damn. Okay. Well, that marks the end of the video because this is a demonstration video. It is not an explanation video. I hope you can understand that. Goodbye.